First of all, for this question, you need to understand what profit means, particularly profit given as a percentage. So let's choose a simple example. Let's say you buy something and it costs you £40. And then a little later you sell it and you sell it for £50. Your percentage profit is calculated by doing the amount of increase, in other words, the profit that you made, divided by the original value of your item, and then that is made into a percentage by multiplying by 100. So here, for this computer game, let's say the profit that you made is £10. You divide by what it was originally worth, which is 40, and then you multiply by 100. Well, 10 over 40, well, that's just a quarter, in other words, 0.25 multiplied by 100, and that comes out as 25%. So you would have made 25% profit. Okay, this is a little bit more complicated, but it's just in terms of x's. We should still be able to work it out. This time, the percentage profit, in this case, is x. So the percentage profit, x in this case, is equal to the amount of profit. Now, the amount of profit, let's think how we got the 10 here. We did the 50 take away the 40. In other words, the new amount divided by the old. So the new amount is 600 plus 5x. So that's what she sells the shares for. And you're subtracting what she bought the shares for in the first place, which is 50x. Don't be confused by the dollars. So essentially, she bought something for 50. She sold it for 600 plus 5x. The difference between the two is the 600 plus 5x take away the original 50x. Now, in order to work out the percentage profit, the same as here, you would divide by the original amount. Now, the original amount that she bought the shares for was 50x, and that would be multiplied by 100 to make your percentage profit. So hopefully, if we tidy this lot up, we should end up with this quadratic equation here. Okay, so let's start. On the top here, 600 plus 5x minus 50x, well, that's just the same as 600. If we do 5x take away 50, well, 5x take away 50x is just minus 45x. On the bottom here, we've got our 50x, and that's multiplied by 100. And I can see that I can cancel quite a lot here. The 50 goes into 100 twice, and so we just have that. Before I carry on, I'm just going to put this 2 in front of the 600 minus 45x, because that's just going to tidy it up a little bit. And on the bottom here, I now have 1x, which is just x. I'm now going to multiply both sides by the denominator on the right-hand side to get rid of that fraction. So multiplying by x, the left-hand side now is x squared. And on the right-hand side, if I remove the brackets, 2 times 600, well, that's 1200. And 2 times minus 45x is minus 90x. Now, it's a bit of a mess. I'm now going to make the right-hand side 0, so to make it the same as this. So I'm going to add 90x to both sides, and at the same time, I'm going to subtract 1200 from both sides. So on the left-hand side, I'm now going to have x squared plus 90x minus 1200, and that must equal 0, and there's my quadratic equation. Okay, here we have a quadratic equation which we now need to solve. Now, it is absolutely pointless to try to solve this quadratic equation by factorizing. And the reason for that is because I am told that I'm going to find x to 3 significant figures. There's a big clue there. If you're ever told to solve the quadratic equation and give the answer to 3 significant figures or 4 significant figures or 2 decimal places, it means it doesn't factorize. You're going to have to use the quadratic formula. Right, you're given the quadratic formula in the front of the exam paper. I've just copied it here so we don't have to keep referring back to it. Quadratic formula says the solutions of a quadratic equation that looks like that are given by this formula. So first of all, let's have a look at what the values of a, b, and c are in this case. I think it helps to write them down. A is just 1 because you've got 1x squared. B is 90, and c is minus 1,200. So let's just start carefully substituting in. It is always worth here just copying down the formula. If you copy down the formula and then make a small mistake in your substitution, you should still get a mark for your working, even if it then goes wrong. So I'm going to just copy out the formula there, and now I'm going to start putting in the numbers. B is 90, so minus B is going to be minus 90, plus or minus the square root of, or B squared comes out as 8,100, and I think you should always put a bracket in here. It's very easy to make mistakes. For AC, we're multiplying together 4 times 1 times minus 1,200, close the bracket, and it's everything here is divided by 2a, and that's just 2 in this case. So let's carry on. We've got minus 90 plus or minus the square root of, now this is 8,100 minus, and we can see that in the bracket we're going to have something which is negative. 4 times 1 times minus 1,200 is minus, or 4 times 12 is 48, so it's minus 4,800, and again that's still all divided by 2. So continuing, we've got minus 90 plus or minus the square root of, and this becomes 8,100 plus, because we're doing minus a negative number, 4,800, and that's divided by 2 still. Right, if we keep on going, that becomes minus 90 plus or minus the square root of 12,900, yeah, that's right, divided by 2. If we keep on going, we keep going there, in other words, it comes out as, on our calculator, we're going to do 2 possible answers then. So it's either minus 90 plus the square root of 12,900 divided by 2, or the answer could be minus 90 subtract the square root of 12,900, and that's all divided by 2. Now if I plug this into my calculator, this one comes out as 11.78908. This one comes out as minus 101.78908. Now, if we look at those 2 possible solutions, remember what we're asked to find here is her profit. Okay, and she can't possibly make a profit of minus 101, so we can actually just reject that solution. Her profit must be this answer, and we're going to be rounding to 3 significant figures. In this case, 11.8. So x is equal to 11.8 in this case.